Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20, and welcome to episode 81 of Direwolf 20's Let's Play series. Today, we're taking a peek at what things are what. So can I bind, perchance, these guys to this energy pylon? And would it be able to read, presuming the range is okay, things and stuff? Sweet. I put them in upside down, but that's pretty cool. The one bummer, though, is that even though the RF protect thingy is set to comma mode, it doesn't comma. Like, that's a bummer. But RF commas. So you can see, we currently have 367 million RF. Sweet. Do I want the bar? So that shows, like, how full it is. It's not very full. It's not even a little bit full, which is comical. It's comically not full at the moment. I might wind up, let's see, bar, maybe not bar, show the RF, show the amount of RF, RF percentage. It's at 3%. That's hilarious. That's how full it is, 3%. Maybe I'll add the percentage bar to this thing, just, you know, for things and reasons. We could just get another RF module. Right, energy screen module. That's what it is, right? Yeah, energy screen module. Yeah, let's get another one of those, and we'll just add the percentage thing to it so that we can easily determine how full it is. Yeah, so last episode we set up an energy thingy, and today we're going to continue playing with this Draconic orb that we have set up. So maybe I'll just add you to the bottom here, and you're going to be, we'll call you %. That's cool. Sweet. That's neat. I like that. That is cool. 4% full. Awesome. That thing stores a lot of power. So our big reactor's running and doing its thing. What's our uranium or uranium situation at the moment? Like, I remember we had like 1,900 of this stuff, so we have a decent amount. We're gonna want to keep an eye on it and see how quickly it's burning out, and that will help us decide whether we're gonna get a or multiple turbines. But aside from that, we're pretty cool. And you can see I kind of fancied up my flooring a little bit here. So you can see, like, ooh, fancy. I made the inner areas of this stuff, like, all look like the block that we're trying to emulate. So I guess now the next step would be to transfer energy out of the system and get it into the base. So let's pretend that we have an idea of what we're doing here, because we don't. We're going to want... Let's get Draconic. Let's get another set of these guys. Ba-da-bum-bum-bum. Check. And more basic energy. These guys should stack, but they don't because reasons. Why are contents saved? I think I can do this. I hope I can do this, or I'm being very wasteful right now. Nice! I don't know why contents were saved on those 12 crystals, because they were never placed. But they were, and that was weird. Anyway... Let's do stuff, right? So what I'm gonna have, basically speaking, is 2 sets of energy beams coming down from the orb that will be responsible for powering the base. So maybe, how do I want to do this? So what we could have is inputs on this side, right? So here and here, and outputs on this side. That I'm not loving, though. I'd rather it be opposing corners. So if we're going to do that, let's have a thing. Let's do... So you'll be here and there. So let's have these guys be here and here. And you're both going to be set to input power, right? Because you're getting the power into the energy crystal from the pylon. You can see they already filled up to 4 million in like an instant, right? And then what we'll have is energy relays that are going to chill here. And then presumably they will here right? So that'll be that one. And then on the opposite side, I'm going to want one here. So that you combined to you, and you combined to you. And these things are going to be cleared out. And this is going to be how we're going to transmit power from our energy orb into our base. And hopefully that'll look pretty cool. So you to here. And you to here. Neat? Does that look good? I think it looks good. I think it looks really good. Cool. So now we've got 2 energy beams that can come into the base. Now the goal would be to pretty much only use these guys to power stuff inside the base, right? So we'll want to have probably pylons coming down here, right? And we'll want one on every floor that will then distribute power throughout the base. And I think that'll be kind of cool looking. At least I hope it will be. We'll find out how cool it looks once we've actually implemented everything that we're doing. So to get this working, we're going to want you to here and you. For relays, it doesn't matter what direction you bind, like one way to the other, it doesn't matter. Like they're just, it's a connection and that's the end of the story, right? And then we won't have relays here because we're not going to be tapping into this power line. This power line is going to go straight from the basement to the orb, and that's it, end of discussion, right? No intermediary steps. The relays coming out of the energy crystal are going to be the ones, and by the way, they should be filling up to full, right? Pretty much 4 million, as close to full as can be. And that looks neat. All right. Cool. So that's step 1. Should we get one more? Let's get one more layer of these down, right? So it's this corner and this corner, right? So we'll do here and here. And these eventually may get upgraded, right? So you're actually already bound to this guy. So that should fill him up. And you combined to this guy. Sweet. So now we've got energy filling up there. Nice. And we're currently storing 460-ish million RF. Not too shabby. The plan will be to eventually negate the need for all of this, right? Our base will almost entirely run off Yellorium for the time being. We'll add other power generation structures as we proceed throughout the series. But for now, that'll be good. And then we'll power our base with stuff. So next question would be, how do we want to actually power things, right? So there's a couple options. We could do a few things here. So for example, let's take a look at powering this row of machines, right? If we wanted to, we could grab a basic wireless energy crystal. We need Eyes of Ender, which, why don't you know how to make Eyes of Ender? Explain that to me. Explain how that's not a pattern that we already know. Let's get like 4 of these, because why not? We're going to want a few of them. Bing. Sweet. So basic energy wireless doohickeys are cool. So there's a couple ways we could approach this. I'm thinking I'm going to put it on this line, because I think that'll look cool. Now this has 4 links, but it also has 16 wireless links. A little different from the linking system here. So this can connect to up to 8 other crystals. And higher tiers, by the way, of these guys can have larger numbers of those. So if we get to the point where we're overtaxing these energy crystals, we can upgrade them to a higher tier, and then they'll be able to transfer to more power. Basically, what we're going to want to do is you to here, and that's going to fill this thing up with power. And then these guys can wirelessly transmit energy to any machine that accepts power. So I'm going to put you here, 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 and here. Cool? Nice. So let's say that we wanted to, do we have any draconium? We have some, right? So let's get like half a stack of you, and we're going to put this thing in here. Check this thing out, right? What's going to happen is you're going to start using up some power, but the power's coming from here now, mostly. First, we should probably zip it up. For now, that'll do. We're going to have to do this a lot throughout, but there we go. So the power is wirelessly going from here into here. Sweet. And once you've finished your task, and it transfers at a pretty high rate of speed, you can go into here and start powering up, right? So the RF isn't going anywhere because it's getting power from the wireless energy crystal. How cool is that? So that is kind of how we're going to distribute power throughout our base. So we'll have some basic lasers and wireless stuff, and we'll get power going. Neat? Does that sound cool? I think it sounds cool. So like we don't need this anymore, right? What we could do is stick this guy in this corner because we don't have that many things over here. And you can bind to this guy, which will transmit power over to him pretty nicely until he's filled up. And then once he's filled up with his internal buffer, the beam clears out a little bit. Nice. So then the beam starts to fade away, right? Cool. Isn't that cool? That's cool, right? And then let's see, like, does this enchanter need power? Probably. Bing. Now he's got power, and we don't need to power him anymore. Cool. Resonator doesn't need power, right? I don't think it does. But these machines do. Cool. So that'll be a way to power all those guys. And then if we pop into our basement now, this line was basically disconnected, so I can erase you. So this was the enchanter. That no longer needs power because we just hooked it up to the wireless guy, right? Now, you guys will probably eventually need some kind of power system going on here, right? So what I'll probably do, so let's see, you guys all need power or no? I don't think so. So these were just fluid ducts, but this was signal plated. So this guy needs power. These guys don't. The user down there doesn't. But these guys do, right? So what I could do is, I'm not going to mess with this too much. I'll leave the signal and plated impulse item ducts here, but I could probably just remove this, right? And we can put another wireless energy crystal. We'll stick him in the corner as well, right? And you can bind, therefore, to this dude, which is an energy relay. Bing. So now you're going to charge this thing up, and you can transmit your power to here, 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 and here. And that's cool. So now these guys are all getting power courtesy of that laser. Neat? Pretty cool, right? So part of what we're going to be doing, you know, throughout the episode here is getting that working in a good way. So clearly we're going to... Am I going to go 100% energy relay crystal power like that? I think so. We just want to be careful as we, you know, start removing things. We're going to either, so like some things back here, for example, right? We could probably eliminate a lot of this cabling. But then when we get to this point, right, we've got signal and plated impulse item ducts. We want to swap those out with regular impulse item ducts, maybe? I don't know. And then also, I'm not 100% sure how well this will work with compact machines. So that's something we could probably test, right, and see if that works. And if it doesn't, there's a solution that we can come up with for the compact machines. Cool. So let's come back in a minute, and I'll see you then. All right, so let's get... This one's going to be a little tricky. I like to usually have it on the top of the tile entity, just because it looks cool when the particles go to there. But we'll probably have to break these things to get that bound, and then replace them. And then rotate them. Cool. So like we should just be prepared for that as an eventuality. So we'll let you be here, right? So like this guy, for example, you probably shouldn't even be connected. It shouldn't matter too much, right? So then you can bind to that, and then we will that there, and then all these guys go back in. Cool. That there, and then all these guys go back in. That looks good. Now for the compact machine, because everything's so integrated with signalum item ducts and stuff, I'm hesitant to do anything with this. So what I think I'll do for this solution, and I'm hoping it's going to work, is I should be able to take one of these and get one of these guys. And what I could do is just stick this guy here and set him to output. So he'll output energy into this system. And then I should be able to bind him directly to this guy, and then that will wind up doing that. Cool. And then he should, in theory, send power down that way. Cool. So what I'm going to do is start removing the power connections back here that integrate with this stuff. So what other power systems do we have going on here? We have power going into this compact machine as well. And that's going into the back. That's signalum plated, right? So what I should probably do... Well, I could... Is this signalum plated? So technically I could unlink all this. Okay. This stuff I'll leave for now because it's going elsewhere, I think, right? It's going up here to here. So technically all you're powering at this point is this guy, which I can bind to, say, this one. So that if I teleport home, you should fill up with power. And there we go, perfect. That's what I wanted to see. Cool. And then this can all be removed. And this can all be removed. So see how I'm like removing a lot of dire wire as a result of this? Now these things have no RF in them. Why would that be? Because you should be outputting RF into here, which you are. You're getting RF, it seems. And you're not signalum plated? Interesting. So I guess next question is my compact machine room maintaining power? That's something that I'm not... I would assume that this would work, right? This outputting into a signalum plated impulse item duct should be keeping that thing powered. It looks like it is. So let's just pop in here and make sure our machine room still has power. Now we might have broken our textures. I figured out how to cause this to happen, and the mod developer is looking into why it happens. But basically, if you right-click on the yeah, so everything still has its power, which is good. So plenty of juice going on through here, so that's cool. Okay. So we'll want to basically keep an eye on this guy, right? I mean, it shouldn't matter too much. Like, what am I doing here? Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. So you've got plenty of RF. You've got plenty of RF. You're sending RF in. I'm not sure why this is saying 0, but that might just be a visual bug. What's in this room again? I don't even remember. What was this compact machine for? Oh, right, the potions room. Cool. That's right. I remember you now. Haha. Yeah. Let's request a potion and see if power works. If they maintain power after requesting a potion, that sounds cool. So, like, we'll just... Well, we have a lot of potions of absorption, don't we? Start. So you guys should get your stuff, and then we'll see if this works. Cross your fingers. Come on, dudes. What you doing? Psst, this is the part where you start working. There we go. Blizz power. Nice. Okay, cool. So you are getting power, so that's a good sign. So the fact that these things aren't losing power, really? Though it could be internal buffers of these things, but I think we will see. I'm going to keep an eye on this for a few minutes. It might be internal buffers. It shouldn't be, but it might be. Let's do a couple more potions. I'm going to grab some resist potions. I just want to validate that this is working. And I think what I'll do is come back in a minute if it's not. So you're sending your stuff out. So that's all working still. We'll be back in a sec. All right, I'm going to say it's going just fine. Lots and lots of potions have been created, and it looks to me like it's okay. So that takes care of these and these. So that's cool. What other important power systems do we want? So for example, these guys over here could be taken care of pretty easily. So what we could have is another wireless dude. Let's get 4 more of these. And my goal here is to really be like completely, you know, using wireless power. So eventually I'm going to have stuff over here. Like this is going to be my fusion crafting room right next to my actually additions crafting room. So I kind of like how it looks when this guy is right here. And then we can bind you. I guess you'll bind either to this one or this one. Let's bind to you because that sounds cool, right? And then you can bind to you, 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 and you. And remember, the center guy doesn't need power. And technically, you should also bind to you. And that should be good, right? Is there anything else that needs power over there? Probably not. Like, range collector doesn't need power, the phantom faces. None of this needs power, per se. So that all sounds good. So in theory, and you're an energy face, where did you go to? What were you bound to? Atomic reconstructor. Okay, so I shouldn't need the phantom energy face anymore. And I shouldn't need this power line anymore. Cool. Does that sound good? So we're de-dire wiring the base. How's that? Now where do you go? You go to... So I'm not going to mess with my deep resonance room too much right now. Now technically this stuff could all be replaced with impulse item ducts and we'd be fine. I just don't want to mess with it because then I have to rearrange all my filters. Because in order to remove this, that's signalum plated item duct. Yeah. I'd have to replace all my filters. So, like, I'm not going to change that. So the fact that they're signalum plated impulse item ducts is not a big deal. Like, that really doesn't matter. And that thing's cool, and that stuff's all good, and that's all cool. So that should be cool. So that should eliminate that area of wiring, right? So we've gotten this stuff taken care of back here. You're going to stay because you're just saving me having to create another laser point there. That should be good. So let's maybe work on this floor. Does that sound like a plan? Because I'm going to definitely want to power things around here. Oh, you know what else I should do? I should definitely look at doing the controller. How should I do the controller up here? Where is the controller? It's right here. So you could, in theory, this guy could be our point for the controller. I could just have him go... It's kind of a long way, but it doesn't matter that much. Yeah, that should be fine, right? I think that works. No reason not to. And then we could eliminate the controller wire. That should be fine. Sweet. I like it. All right, so now we're gonna want some relay crystals here, right? So let's allocate them the way they should be. So it should be this one, should be a relay crystal, and we should have a relay crystal here. And we will bind you to here. And then you're gonna bind lasers everywhere to here. Sweet. Okay. So now you're going to be responsible for powering. What I'm probably going to do is just have a center point on this. Now, I'm not entirely sure. This might eventually wind up being moved, but here's a wireless dude, right? Like, let's just clear this whole line here. This might eventually be rearranged a little bit. Anti-dire wire for the win. Because I'm probably going to be upgrading these guys pretty soon. Now that we've got even more power capabilities. So you can bind to this, this, and this. Cool. So there's your wireless, there's your relay. So you're distributing power to those two guys. I think that's cool. So another nice thing to set up might be over here. We might want you bound to probably this crystal. I don't usually like how they look when they're going through that. So let's do put you away. Pick you up. You're gonna go here. And you're gonna bind to this guy. That looks cool. And them going through here, I'm gonna be okay with, believe it or not. So mob duplicator looks good. You're gonna connect to that guy so that that gets power. You're gonna connect to this. Doesn't need power, so that's good. So you're an impulse item duct. Cool. I'm just checking out how all this stuff is wired. You do need power, right? And is there anything underground here that needs power? I don't think so, because really the only thing down here is just this stuff. Come on now. So you're just structure ducts and fluid ducts, and that's about it. How did you even get power ever? I have no idea how you received power. How did you receive power? Did I have a wireless doohickey down here? I might have. That must have been what I was doing. I just don't know where it is. That's what happens when you're like super compact with things sometimes. Yeah, you definitely were not getting power from the bottom or the sides. So did I have a wireless thing around here somewhere? If I did, it's probably hidden underneath all this stuff that I'm using to prevent mobs from spawning underneath here. So I'll just kind of leave that and not worry about it. But overall, that's pretty cool. Let me just check here to make sure that we don't have any power lines floating around. I don't think so, though. Over here we do, obviously, but that's okay. That's a different setup, and that's wireless, remember, because we have the thing on there. So that's fine. Let's actually use these. And remember, we have that block silency thingy there going. So that's neat. All right, I think that's cool. So that gets power going to those things. Perfect. So is there anything else in our base that's like super important to power? I can't really think of anything. So I'm gonna real fast cover up this ceiling bit because we don't need these lines anymore. And this makes my ceiling just look a little bit nicer. See, told you Dyer was trying to be fancy this season. Have I mentioned my genetics room lately? Because I'm proud of it. I know, it's from episodes ago, but I'm still that proud of it. Cool. All right, so how's that look? Does that, like, make sense for things and whatnot? So you're beaming over to there. That's cool. You're beaming over to those two. That's cool. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that there's not a whole lot more that we need to power our base off of. Now, to be fair, we still have this guy who's powering some aspects of the remote locations, right? So we've got the bioreactor. Like, let's just review where power is going out to, right? So really the only output on this power is this dude. And we, of course, have these guys, but these are only inputs. We're not outputting power from this thing, right? So really the only power going out of this thing is to here, which no longer needs to exist, right? You're going over to here, up to all these things. So I could get this on that line. So let's do that real fast. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with that. Let's put a wireless energy crystal over here. And we'll bind you to here. And then to each of these machines. Okay, cool. Better. I was like, why did you not do that thing that I wanted you to do? Right, this one doesn't need power, right? But these do, right? Yeah, cool, 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 cool. So that works, right? So that'll power all that stuff up. And then we can eliminate this line. Cool. That's looking good. Now, what was this line for? This line ran all the way over to here. So this is what's getting from here. This is power input, That's all this is, to fill up. I should, in theory, be able to remove you. I'm going to remove just a few of you. Because in theory, this thing shouldn't lose power at any point. Because he's really powering very few things in the base right now. Including the wireless thing, like the power cell thing, right? But he's really not powering a lot. And because he's not powering a lot, we shouldn't be concerned with needing anything, really. So that's cool. So we should be able to now clear this out. And we can also clear this out, because this was what was powering all of our RF Tools Dimensions stuff. This was here. Actually, I could probably have you be that. So this is no longer needed. Look at that, guys. We have almost completely removed a bunch of stuff. So this thing, wireless RF battery, is still being powered a bit. But overall, our base is almost completely dependent on the power orb at this point, and wireless energy. Alright guys, so I'm annoyed with mob spawning, and we've pretty much reached the wrapping up point for the episode, but hey, that's cool. Hey, Celestial Crystal, with lots of good stats. So let's drop you in here this time. We're not going to create any explosions nearby, because you were apparently very unhappy with me doing that last time, right? Yeah. It's safe. Let's hope that by putting a better Celestial Crystal on this thing, that he will start behaving himself. We'll see. I might have to realign my mirrors, but that's something I'm prepared to do. So yeah, this episode, we are pretty much entirely running off of wireless power. I'm pretty excited about that. That is really cool to me. So you're bound to Lucerna. Sweet. That means you can be... I'm going to just break this all together, just to reset this ritual all the way. You're going to be there. You should already still be bound to that guy. Cool. And then we can just get our linking tool, because we have to re-link the lasers. Because remember, every time you break and replace that pedestal or switch the ritual, the energy distribution is recalculated. So we will rebuild this guy. Linked to the lens. And at this point, we've pretty much reached the wrapping up point. I'm just going to reset this up and test a little bit to see how well my new ritual things will behave. Now, technically, by the way, my lenses are not the greatest lenses in the world. Should I maybe... Do I have more lenses that are better than this? If I have better lenses, which I think I might, we totally have 5 really good lenses. So why not? I'm going to do a hard reset on this. So you bad lenses go away. You good lenses stay. Let's just reset this guy all together. Right? Attuned Celestial Crystal for Lucerna. This is a collector crystal. This is a Celestial Crystal. We'll use the good lenses to refract the light back, because that also matters. And hopefully now, this guy will decide to actually prevent mob spawns. That would be nifty. You can go away. Next one is here. There. There. And then the last one goes... Nice. And that should be super focused, I think. Oh wait, hey, what? Why did you reset just now? What? Did something weird just happen, or was it me? Did you literally just reset? Back in a sec. Let me get these guys redone. Oh, wait. Is it behaving now? Nope. It goes here. I thought we were cool, and then we weren't cool. Linked. All right, last one. We're getting some sparking, so that's good. Good deal. All right, so we'll see if that prevents mob spawns going forward. For now, wrapping up point. Devil20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We will come back next time and maybe play a little bit more Draconic Evolution. But at this point, I've pretty much got my entire base powered by this cool stuff. We've got 1.2 billion RF, which is about 12% full. Not too shabby. Upstairs in our giant energy orb thing. And at some point, I might dismantle this whole setup. But we'll see. I might leave it just for, you know, nostalgia's sake. All right, guys. Take it easy.